Hi, this is Tom. Welcome to my channel. So this is a series of images that was done by ChatGPT with the new image generator. And it has the advantage of being able to understand what you tell it. So it's not just like with Midjourney, you can't give it instructions. But with ChatGPT, you can. So it's sort of interesting that you can get things to turn out really nicely with the instructions that you give, but there's also some pitfalls which I'll show in a moment. Okay, so I did a video, I think in February, about trying to do some humor with Midjourney. And these I'm doing some of the same ideas with ChatGPT. So here we have no running sign with a snail and by a swimming pool, and it did this perfectly. So here we've got one with a slow sign with a sloth, and I like sloths because I think they're funny. And the slow sign looks kind of funny, like it's just emerging from the ground, like a demonic. Uh, and it's written on the road. I'm pretty sure I could have fixed this if I had worked on it a bit, but I thought it did a really nice job with the sloth. It's a great pose. That's what I was looking for. Also, it's pretty cool the way that the bicyclists are out of focus, but the sloth is really in focus. Okay, this one I had to do a couple of takes, but was really happy with how this came out. The first one that it did was um, the iceberg was like took up the whole space, and it didn't really get the concept. So this is the concept was to have a small iceberg surrounded by water, and then I told it to do the penguins like Happy Face with the no vacancy sign. It did everything. So that was good. So here we've got, I did one like this for with Midjourney, like just like this, except that the eggs weren't fried. They were like hard boiled eggs, and there's a whole bunch of them. And it didn't look as good as it would with fried eggs. And I couldn't get Midjourney to do that, but with ChatGPT, it just did it. And I asked it to try it with the expressions startled, and it came up with this. And then another one where the expression is more inquisitive, and it came up with this one. And also, I wanted them to be looking at the food on the other person's plate, and it's pretty good. Could be a little bit more down, but getting pretty picky here, but captured it pretty nicely. So this one here, when it originally did it, it had the dog behind the tortoise, and so the tortoise was up here, so it didn't make sense. So I just asked ChatGPT to look at the physics in the picture, and then it was like, oh, no, no, it's not good. The tortoise needs to be behind the dog. And then, okay, do you want me to fix it? Yes, fix it. And then it did exactly the same thing. The tortoise was in front again. Um, and then I asked it, like, did you fix it? And so, oh. And anyway, I don't know exactly how the whole thing works, but there's a disconnect in some way between the LLM portion of it that you're chatting with and the image making part of it. But anyway, I got a real nice image on take three. And not only did it get the idea nicely, it's a really nice picture. Like, and sort of, it was kind of like watercolor, the way that it did this. And then here, this one, I was really, really happy with because it captured what I was looking for perfectly. Um, which was I wanted. At first, it had like I think the turtle was like startled, and I said no, I want the turtle to be totally like bored. And then you got the snail was like really scared because the tortoise is going so fast. Is the idea of the picture, and I really look at the expression on the tortoise. So it did everything, got everything really good. It spelled the word right, everything. Of course, Midjourney's doing a lot better on that too now. Okay, and then here we've got a cat with the no loitering. And on this one, so this sort of gives an idea of how it's different than Midjourney, where with the ChatGPT, I asked it for the ideas. So I gave it the basic theme was I wanted a no loitering sign, and then juxtaposed with an animal or animals that would be um, contradictory or not. Uh, you know, can't think of the word that I want. Um, you know, going along with the idea, ironic, still not the word, but we'll go with that. And it came up with the idea of a cat, and that worked well. And also came up with the idea of seals. And I said that the walruses would work well. And so here we got one with I, it's funny to me. So this captured the idea really nicely. Okay, so I mentioned pitfalls a bit earlier. So I'm going to show a pitfall here. So here's a pitfall. And I asked it some questions about what was going on here. And it explained to me something about the search path that it uses, because like the way that the stable diffusion algorithms work is it starts up with a bunch of noise and then it gradually denoises it until it gets to a good image. And somehow in that process, it's like there's vestiges of previous prompts. So this was just supposed to have the birds here, no tortoises, no skateboard. This it was remembering, quote unquote, from previous prompts. And then here's another example of that. So here we've got the fried eggs from the previous prompt. We've got the tortoise. The tortoise was all over the place. Um, like, for example, the first take I did of this one. So this is a moon scene with a no trespassing sign. It had a tortoise in it, so it was pretty funny. And the and ChatGPT got the humor of it too. So I wanted to show the prompt for this one. So let me go to my blog post. Okay, and let me pull up the prompt here because I think this is pretty funny. All right. So the prompt is this one here. So it says, three chubby walruses rest comfortably on a sandy beach beneath a clear blue sky. A bold no loitering sign is planted in the sand beside them. There are no turtles, eggs, food, or other animals present. Only the walruses in the sign. So, I thought, like, if you saw a prompt like this with like no context, it's pretty funny. It's like there's no turtles, no eggs. Um, so that was the lengths it had to go to get rid of the extraneous stuff. Okay, I just have a couple more to show. Let's see. So here we have the failed one. All right, and here's another sloth one. So I like. I remember Gary Larson, The Far Side. He liked cows because he found cows to be innately funny, and I find sloths to be innately funny. So I like the sloth ones. So here we've got a sloth juxtaposed with a no loitering. And here we've got a cat with an under surveillance sign. And here we got the no trespassing with the moon. We got a beware of dog with a cute dog. And then finally, this one I tried to do with Midjourney. I couldn't. It couldn't draw a boomerang. And so with ChatGPT, at first it was like too close, and I just asked it for it to be further away. And it was funny. It spelled the sign instead of no U-turn. It had something like no tour stand or something. It messed up the letters, but it's probably about 80, 90% accurate on the lettering. But I had to redo it, and then this one captured the idea well. And I'm sure you could do more sophisticated humor type things because it's accurate enough to, capture, more sophisticated ideas and draw things out. So that would be something fun to play with. And this is pretty much all I've done so far. I haven't really examined how it does like different art styles. So that'll be something fun to look into. And also, the other thing I was going to mention about it was it's really, really slow. So, but the quality is so high. But you do have this problem of it kind of bleeding from one prompt to another. And I haven't got that nailed down to where, like, one thing I was going to mention that can help is rather than have it just make the image right off, have it write out the prompt for the image. And that seems to be good. So I would say, like, okay, here's my general idea. I want like no loitering sign, and then I want um, an animal or animals that are I wish I could remember the word I want, but that aren't going to that they're it's ironic. And it gave me 5 prompts to choose from. And then I asked it, I told it, like, okay, do number 5. That was the cat one. That turned out fine first time. And then I said to do the walrus one. And that's the one that came up with this one with the fried egg and the tortoise. Um, but anyway, it seemed to be a little better if you have it do the prompts first and then have it do the images from the prompts that it created. And also these techniques of like this prompt that I showed about like, no food, no tortoises, no other animals, just the walruses and the sign. That seems to work. Um, but yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see. I expected OpenAI will work this out because I'm probably not the only one that's noticing this and reporting it. But the quality is outstanding, and also the sophistication of the prompting that you can do. But it is slow, so I like to do a bunch of them when I'm doing something else, at the same time until they get the speed up. You can do that kind of multitask. But a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to trying out some other kind of styles with it. Well, thanks for watching, and until next time.